G'day Gamers. Just thought I'd do a streaming sesh. I'm actually setting up a copper Citadel. We're in the process of setting up a copper Citadel, which is right here. So I'm going to go around and collect all these towers. There's actually quite a few there. Also got a moment of zen right there, which is nice. So I'd record the whole sesh, uninterrupted, raw, no editing, no nothing. So you can sort of see how the build sort of performs and how it goes. I've made a few changes since the last video again. I just changed out a couple of gems. I got some sales and I bought myself another couple of these. Where are they? Meta skills gain increased energy, as well as the magnitude shock. These are quite pricey. You can craft them yourself. I've lucked out on 4 of them so far. I got the magnitude of shock and I got the energy, and upon slamming it, it turned into something else completely. So I will get lucky one day, but at the moment I'm saving up to buy ones that are already pre-made. So I got that one, I got this one here, and I got that one there. So that's what we're stacking on. You can get implicits on top, which are for whatever res or whatever you're missing, craft the blood immunity, whatever of the sort. So yeah, that's about the only changes I made. I was toying around with an idea, not on winter, but I was toying around with ball lightning and trying to apply my shock and get the shock to go off that, as well as any other spells. Let me show you. So this is how it sort of cuts out. There's a couple other things I was looking at, which was wild shards. Obviously I'm not going to do this until I do a bit more testing. Obviously the damage is going to be low. I'll come out here so you can see it. Also editing behind it. This is sort of how it sort of plays and how it looks. Occasionally it will shoot out the projectiles around. Now the way I was going to scale this is I was going to scale these projectile nodes here. Additional proj. And I think there's some either duration, or I was going to go reduced projectile speed so they sort of like hang around the area a little bit and keep proccing the shocks. But it's just an idea that I'm working on. So maybe some car speed might go some long way with this. Anyway, let's get into it. I'm also on the way to level 96, 64%. Haven't died. Touch wood. We'll see how we go. So what we want to do is we want to get around the towers here. We want to go increase quantity of waystones drop, because it affects the boss drops of the fragments, which is for the Arbor of Ash, the end and pinnacle boss that we have at the moment. And that's how you get these fragments. You got the stone, iron, and copper fragments. These are the most expensive ones here. Turn the music down for you a bit. Get into it. Obviously you can run any mod you want in this build. I'm not exactly super tanky, but I could take a hit or two, but the ones you want to look out for, as I've said in previous videos, is monsters penetrate elemental resistances. Monsters have elemental resistances, just reduces the damage you do. Well, it actually reduces the chance for your shocks to apply, etc. as often. Same for what's that other one? Ailment threshold. This just sort of hinders or slows down your map clear and how far you go. Nothing else has really changed. I'm still at about or just under 200% rarity. I was 220% rarity. I bought myself another amulet. So this one here with 48 spirits allows me to slot in mana regen on any of my auras. So I've got mana regen now on my Archmage. Main reason I was toying out with the idea for another spells, so don't feel like you're locked in to use Spark, because again, Spark is just a delivery system. It's not for not for the damage, just to apply the shocks.
There is power in this object. I can feel it. Die, forgotten.
The map clear isn't exactly the fastest on this setup, but seems to work out alright.
Back, creature.
So just pay attention to my cast on shock, just how often or how quick it builds up. Once I replace a few more of the jewels in my build, it should start to scale up a hell of a lot more, a lot quicker. This build may not be everyone's cup of tea, but it's a very chill play style. You don't have to really do too much except focus on surviving and pressing left click or whatever you bind this to. That's pretty much it. And I've done my build. I think I'm only using 2 uniques in my build, which is the Ingenuity, and in my passive tree is the Adorned. I'm actually using a couple other gems for just for point slots, as you can see here, which is the Control Metamorphosis and the From Nothing. This one's pricey. It can be pricey. It was 17 div the other day, a couple of days ago. But maybe cheaper now, maybe more expensive. It's not absolutely 100% required to get that jewel. It's just makes it easier to save a few points while you're leveling if you're deciding to level with Spark or whatever. It's not needed. And as I said, there's other options. So I was also toying with the idea that in the Ascendancy here, you can. I was looking at maybe taking this instead of the Tempest Collar when I want to play around with other spells to see if they contribute to or they start stacking up the shock as well as say Orb Storms or Spark does. Sorry, Ball Lightning or Spark. Just an idea that I'm sort of playing with. Also, just a little side note, the reason I waste a little bit of currency on these maps that I don't run, these lower tiers, anything say 13 down, I still pick them up, but because I've got an abundance of lower currency like Regals, Augmentations and Chain Mutations, you basically bump them up so that they've got full-on blue mods, and then you regal them. And then for me personally, I just vendor them because It's the quickest way for me to make gold just while I'm cruising through the maps. So you can sell them for like 1 or 2x each, some of them depending what rolls on them, but it's, if you're short on gold, it's the best way I've found to sort of keep on top of your gold. So what we want to do is we want to try and traverse these towers best we can without doing this one here. Hope everyone's having a good day or evening, good night, whatever it may be. Essentially, this is a tier 16 without it being a 16.
Victory is mine.
I am potentially looking at getting into streaming. I just got to figure out what sort of hours I can do and how I want to sort of set up the stream. Also, side note, make sure if you ever go out and about in the sun and go swimming for the day, slip slop slap. Had my brother's birthday, one of my brother's birthday yesterday, and was swimming all day, and my face is red like a lobster. I was cooking the barbie for the family yesterday, so slip slop slap, peeps. Another thing I highly suggest too is if you are trying to level your character and you're in the 90 bracket range, you probably, some of you already know this already, definitely look at getting one of these, the Omen of Amelioration. It makes it so you lose 75% less of the experience if you are unfortunate and die in the maps. Playing hardcore, obviously you don't need to worry about this, but if you're playing the build like mine in hardcore, I wouldn't assume unless you made it super tanky. I have noticed some of the mobs with when you got early rares on the map, and then you've got the rares that pop up and they have elemental resistance. They can be incredibly tanky against my setup. They still die pretty quickly, but yeah, it's somewhat tankier than others. Some of those mobs there, the blue swirlies that take all your mana away, they can be pretty dangerous, but usually with kill them in a few hits when you're at range, but they can teleport onto you with some of their abilities. I'll get boss. That's a very tanky boy. Turn off global chat. People can be say some interesting things on that.
Garukan favors me.
Biggest thing I like about this build is I can freely move around and focus on staying alive as opposed to having to dish out the damage. All I have to do is left click and keep moving. Always enjoyed playing damage while moving builds. Lost part of the mapping, running around finding the rares.
Swine. Victory is mine. Garukan favors me.
It's where the rare is. The AoE clear is pretty juicy. Hey, but now I know they're there, so nice. Once I get my channel set up a little bit better, or my stream when I start streaming, might have a little bit more my style of music, which is sort of like Metallica, or old rock music. I just don't know what the rules are for playing on YouTube.
Go on.
So let's chess piece.
I speak.
The next one. My map sustain's pretty good as well. I don't really have to worry about buying maps. This is my tier 15 dump tab, tier 14s, and then there's maps that I either won't run or might come back to at some stage. Definitely other things to look out for in the modifiers and some maps. But you can pretty much run everything you want in this. Don't have to change out any skill gems or bosses, nothing. I mean, the only thing I would change on the skill gems, if I had to, if I was worried about it, would be the shock spread, curse and current on Spark. But it's not needed. You know, I mean, you've seen my boss damage and what it does, so.
Didn't break a sweat.
Didn't break a sweat. First thing about this setup that I run is you can sort of just cast Spark in one direction, run another way, and cast another direction. You kill usually whatever's in that area. Sort of come back and loot. Just have to really pay attention to the mana in breaches, especially because the amount of res that are here and the amount that castle shock is going off. It can really
Fall before me.
burn through your mana quickly. Sometimes. I'm trying to set this build up so that I don't have to rely on, you know, 4 or 5 uniques to sort of get into play, like the unique mana ring and can't be frozen, can't be chilled, whatever it is, and then the necklace for the mana regen. I don't want to have to rely on those things. So I've built this all around kind of budget uniques that I've sort of thrown together, and budget yellow, sorry. With the rarity to sort of add to it, which is 182% right now. Main thing to pay attention to when you're running these maps and you're doing this stuff, when you're trying to keep XP, just pay attention to the range type mobs. They can sort of still off-screen you sometimes, like those little poison porcupine things that like shoot out like a barrage at you all at once. They can really mess up your day.
Die, forgotten.
With all the uniques, I most of them, unless they're like really good ones, I just deconstruct them. Or get the champ shards. Another breach. Nice.
Wild beast.
Oh, and I still am working on my Audience of the King. It's sitting there in the ritual. Just got to get enough points out of the fur so I can grab it. If I get a bit more currency, I might actually just buy one and run it. Same for the Simulacrum. Also with this spark, I try not to hold it down, I just tap it so I can sort of keep moving at a relative pace, nice pace. you are trying to craft a wand like this, by the way, you want to loot these attuned wands or siphoning wands like these. For the normal ones, you can use the essence of electricity on them, and that's how you can sort of aim for the plus to lightning skills or lightning spell skills. And then it's just a matter of auging, and then you can use greater essences to sort of hope that you get like a high mana roll or whatever stat that you're wanting on it. I'll make another video on how to try and set it up and craft it. You can get into the omen crafting, but omen crafting at the moment is expensive. Especially when you get into the omens whittling and whatnot. There's a lot of on-death effects, I swear.
Die, scum! Didn't break a sweat. There is power in this object. I can feel it.
Got the currency too, you can always exalt slam your maps. Just the more modifiers on it, the waystone drop chance and everything goes up occasionally. You can get some nice modifiers in your maps. Quantity of items is always nice. Rarity as well. The way I look at it is from PoE1. The more you invest in your character or your maps or your build, the more you get out of it in end game. It's the best way to look at it, in my opinion. You know, the content that you cannot run, like the maps, you can always resell it to another player, vendor in this case, because for gold return is good for the maps. So the ailment threshold and the penetration I usually stick aside. I can run the ailment ones, they're just a bit of a hindrance just to how my build works. What we're aiming for is these little towers here. Also pay attention to some of the modifiers. Like this one says monsters have increased stun build up, so I switch out between stun and freeze. Just make sure you have a stun charm for this, just so you don't get locked down by an enemy and lose some of that experience or character if you're playing hardcore.
I've never seen anything like this.
Pretty sure you have. We were just in a map like this. Characters telling porkies.
Sands, take you!
I don't think I've actually done this boss in this tile set headland. I don't think I have. I don't know if I've mentioned it either. Some of these towers, the meteor tower and the lightning strike tower, gives you lightning damage and the meteor is going off. They can be a bit nasty. Just don't get clapped by a couple of meteors in a row, otherwise it ends badly.
A rare treasure. By Garukan!
Those guys stunned me straight away. Little charm symbol popped up top.
Die forgotten!
Can generally off screen mostly everything while you're clearing through. Just have to look in the direction of where they're coming from and just cast your spark. Pay attention to the AoE and stuff to shoot now. The fact that I'm having so much fun on this build, I'm excited to start another build or eventually play solo self-mount hardcore. Those big tombstone carrying guys there, they can be a bit rough. They slam their tombstone down and can off-screen you. Something to be aware of. He's got his HP back. Mr. Rare.
Didn't break a sweat. A rare treasure.
Gamers come across from PoE 1, Diablo, or you know in the comments if where you come from. Instead of the games. I played a lot of Path of Exile 1 pretty much from the beginning of the game with my younger brothers. Definitely what you would call a Path of Exile nerd or Andy. My music stopped.
Fall!
Best addition that they added to PoE 2 is the ability to pause your game. Just not a boss fights.
My king nears.
This guy again. He went down quicker this time.
Garu Khan favors me.
I think it's because I wasn't afraid of him this time. Just sort of went straight in.
Yes.
Definitely is worth it if you don't already have a dump tab like this or any dump tabs. Definitely worth it because you come out of your maps and you can dump it straight into the dump tab and continue running the content that you need to do. On our way to 96. Say things like this though. Could get me in trouble and end up dying. New changes to these towers are pretty cool. They're like just like you're running like another map. These are the meteor towers that I was just talking about. You sort of just got to commit and run straight in. I have been killed by these towers like that before. Can be a little bit treacherous.
Pathetic. Didn't break a sweat.
I guess the main thing is with here's another one of those towers. It's with the modifiers on the map. Don't be thrown off guard with them either. Like won't be. They may look daunting with all the modifiers on them. Once you understand what your build or whatever build that you're playing is, once you understand what it's capable of, it's just learning the fights and just breezing through the mechanics. To be honest, it's don't let it get to you too much, if that makes sense. Believe in yourself, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. sale. Nice. That's another thing too, like don't be so focused on if you don't have currency and stuff, just best thing I find, if you set up a dump tab and just label it 1 div, 2 divs, 3 divs, or even 20x, you know, 50x, whatever, you can generally make a pretty good profit just while you're mapping. You're just making the passive income along the way. It's always like what may be absolutely horrible for your build could be absolutely a treasure for someone else's. Just got to remember that. I definitely sound like an old man when I start rambling. What we're looking for these towers is the quantity of waystones found in your maps. So as you can see on here, it's already got 18% increased waystones found. So if this radius reaches out here, it's going to hit that map. I think that one there will too. So now it is 38% increased waystones found in the area, which affects the end game fragments, or the fragments that can drop from. So that one will affect it, and that one. So I've got 2 towers to get to. This one I can do now. If anyone's got any questions or whatever, or any something that they want to see me do in the my playthroughs, just let me know. Send me a message, leave a comment. I'll see what I can do.
Sons, have you?
This is one of those mobs that keeps summoning the minions, I think. Yeah, I killed it.
Sons, take you.
There's a mob type that I've encountered on this build so far
A rare treasure.
that it's like got an immunity bubble or duration, and it keeps spam summoning a minion type like zombies or skeleton heads or whatever. It's a bit of a nuisance to try and get past sometimes. Always pick up your low tier maps so you can sell them if you don't need them. Good gold, gamers. Good gold. I know they've changed the strong boxes in this, but I'm gonna steer clear of them at the moment. Focus on modern door.
Die, forgotten!
Go on. Yes.
I go for that one too. I think I should. How many is that? Has that got a thing? Don't think it does. One, two, three, 4 maps. So this one's got freeze build up, so I'll change my charm out. I'll be honest, the map boss in this tile set I do not like. He's got a couple of mechanics that can essentially one-shot me.
Sands, take you!
So I'm pretty sure it's this boss. That's a juicy corridor. This is one of those rares I was talking about. It keeps summoning the minions. It's like they can hear me.
A rare treasure.
I don't know about you gamers, that I always get a little bit nervous when I get right close to leveling. I start playing very very safe. I pay more attention to the map modifiers on the map. Always worried that I'm going to get like one shot, playing not as confident as I should be. So I'm at 69% experience right now. Doesn't seem like a great deal, but at 90 plus, I'm at 94, 95. It's definitely significant, the amount of hours or time that you have to put into getting it back. It's funny, I'm actually at 69% experience, and I've also deaths are 69 times. So we can't break the streak. Got to keep it there.
Die, scum! Die, forgotten! There is power in this object. I can feel it.
Lost. Well, I'm glad that we one-shot him and he didn't one-shot me. It's definitely a pleasant change. If he manages to get his abilities cast off, then he can do some significant damage. It may feel like a kind of slow playstyle, but you don't have much issue in the way of clearing and what mods look out for. Like I know some of the attack skills and stuff have to worry about, you know, certain modifiers. We got another summoning rare here.
What is it? Of course.
1, 2, 3 maps to go, and we can do this Copper Citadel. Nice. I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but I also really enjoy getting into creating and building hideouts in PoE. I also do like a lot of tattoo designs and stuff in real life. Love drawing and creating, anything creating and designing and building. I love it. Probably the best thing about PoE is the fact that you can essentially make whatever build you want or make something work in PoE. Like definitely in PoE 1, there's not many limitations. If you want to shoot lightning bolts at your fingertips or fireballs or whatever it may be while spinning around in circles, by all means you can.
Didn't break a sweat.
Don't get me wrong when I say this. Some parts of I grew up on like Diablo and Diablo 2 and all that sort of stuff in my younger years. It was a great game when I was growing up, but playing the newer content, Diablo 4 and Diablo 3, it's still a good game. It's just misses a lot of freedom of what you can do in a build. You're comparing it to Path of Exile. So that's what draws me to this more than that type of game anymore.
Didn't break a sweat. Die once more. There is power in this object. I can feel it.
Just a bit cautious of going through little bottlenecks like that. Usually, that was a big. It's something that was hitting me quite often then. Don't know what it was. Sketchy. You know, bottlenecks and getting hit the other side is a bit rough sometimes, as you can see.
What is it? Go. Yes. What is it?
Body. Tower to do. I know we've got 2 more maps to do. Then this bad boy. Essentially, it doesn't really matter what map mods you run, just got to be aware of what they do. Like this one reduced my resistances by a little bit. So obviously I don't really want to get hit by fire, cold or lightning. I'm breezing through, just got to pay attention. Don't stand in bad, don't get hit by bad. Usual stuff I also used to play a lot of World of Warcraft back in the day, in the beginning. It's the old school gamer.
Fool! Victory is mine!
That was good timing. Person posted Widow Hail plus a Velob in the chat. As soon as he did, my character went, "Ooh."
A rare treasure.
Apparently it was a critical failure. I believe that stuff on the ground when they die is physical bleed, I think. Or some form of physical damage. Definitely looking forward to see what content GGG adds in the future. I don't know if any of you gamers watch any streamers, but anyone see Quinn 69's unfortunate rip on the Arbiter Rash this morning? I'm sure he'll get it. Definitely a tough fight. For the for other builds sometimes. It's funny like how your whole gameplay or your playstyle changes when you're playing hardcore. Especially solo self-owned. Everything you pick up is important. Everything you do, you keep doubles of everything. You hold on to things just in case you do rip and you do lose your character. You've got excess stuff that you can sort of put it piece back together another build. It's just the fact that you lose your time that you put into the character, unfortunately. He's a pretty good gamer when he wants to be, so we'll get up there.
Die forgotten!
I do like this checkpoint system that they've added in. I didn't even see that today until the last minute.
Garukan favors me.
Sinking spire. Righty. I don't think I've done this base save. This tile set before.
Victory is mine.
This tile set actually reminds me of Sun Temple map. It's set up almost exactly the same by the looks of it. Just less walls. And no massive sun in the middle. That burns you.
Back, creature.
I think I missed a breach in that last map. Whoops. Big boy. This is where I usually get nervous because I've got the boss to kill, and if I mess it up, I lose a little bit of currency and I have to do it all over again. So we've got 65% increased waystones found in the area. Let's see what other maps we got. Yeah, 290 is fine. We'll go more, but obviously the higher you put it, the more risk you've got. Doesn't really matter too much. So we'll do that one instead. Increased quantity, rarity. We'll give it a go. Here's the copper Citadel. It's actually pretty catchy music. I like it. Oh, it's the Dreadnought. Oh, it's this boss too. Oh, goody.
Didn't break a sweat. Away from me.
Best thing to do, I guess, is just treat it like any other map. Win or lose, we give it a go. Temple changed, not very nice. Just a little tip too, if you're worried about dying before you get to the boss, to give the boss a go, if you're not too confident, skip this stuff here and come back for this stuff. There's no shame in going to go just kill the boss for the fragments, if that's what you're after. At least that way if you die while clearing the map, you've still got the fragments if you killed the boss.
Garukan favors me.
Oh, Nelly. That's a big boy.
Die forgotten.
Oh, worst case scenario, if we die in this map, we have an exalted. Hoorah! That is a hasted mob. Whoa. Okay. Corpse explosion. Didn't even see that one. We're okay there. Alrighty. Boss time. After this little corridor, should be up on the end. Focus up and give it a go. Adjust the jet. Let's give it a go.
One way or another, this ends here. We will have
You are
what
finished.
is ours. I cannot give up.
What are you doing?
That's unfortunate. He was already dead. It's still making me do the mechanic.
Nothing matters now but the beast. Go.
Phase 2. It's a bit of HP back.
I don't have time for this. Sands bend to
Check
my
for the
will.
swirlies.
Impede my enemies. We will blot.
And there we go.
I will.
Hopefully we get some good drops. We got 2.
Garukan favors me.
Nice. Well, there we go, gamers. That's pretty much all I wanted to show you for the time being. I will endeavour to put up another video or two. And let me know in the comments if you thought of the playthrough and the sesh. And stay tuned for more content to come. Have a good day, and I'll catch you next time. Hooroo.